seen a thing on Facebook the other day. It said something about two things you found out you need to do as you get older. One was you need to write notes, and they couldn't remember the other one. So I wrote me a few notes. I've tried to take lessons from what I've learned in the last few years, and I was thinking Sunday night when Brother Charles had Brother Ben come up here and what he said, let the cat out of the bag. I remembered several years back whenever I felt that same call, and I come and told Brother Charles, and he said, well, you need to get up and tell the church. I said, no, you need to tell the church. He said, that's not my job. So he, much like he did Brother Ben Sunday night, he said, well, Joe's got something he wants to say. So I got up and let the church, I told them at Therapy Tuesday, my son went Baptist on us, he got up and surrendered to preach. So I got up and I surrendered to preach. And Sister Ruth Bridgman used to sit over by Mama Hood. After we dismissed, she said, well, I knew this for a long time. I said, well, why didn't you tell me? She said, it wasn't my place. That being said, the last few weeks I've been listening to some other preachers. Sometimes the best way to grow, to learn, to hone your skills is to listen to how other people present debate. And I listened to Brother Jeff Arnold. And Lord, if I get up and preach like he does, or did, I'd get run out of town. And he would preach for 45 minutes and say, if y'all just sit down, I'm about to get to my sermon. And I was listening, I said, Lord, I don't ever remember preaching 45 minutes, much less go 45 minutes, and now I'm just now getting to my sermon. Listen to Brother Jensen Franklin, he's got, the way he brings stuff out, and he dresses real cool too, so I kind of like that. And I was listening to Pastor Stephen Furtick, and he's another one that dresses kind of cool, and he's kind of got a colorful way of bringing things out. And I was listening to him today, and he said he had quit comparing himself to other people. And I've said that all along, but I still have to get on to myself. Whenever Joseph was sold into slavery, when they put him in the pit, the Ishmaelites that come by and bought him was actually the ancestors of Abraham. Whenever you had Ishmael and you had Isaac, and then Isaac was the chosen. But God told Abraham, I'm going to bless your seed. Right. Had Ishmael not got sent off into the wilderness, there wouldn't have been a group of Ishmaelites to come by and buy Joseph out of the pit to keep him from getting killed. Because God blessed both. And then Joseph, after everything, when he brought his two sons to be blessed, and his father reached and crossed his hands, and Joseph corrected him. He said, because he thought he couldn't see. He said, no, I did it exactly the way I was supposed to do it. He blessed the younger one first, that wasn't right. That wasn't the way it's supposed to go. But he blessed them both nonetheless. So, Brother Smooth, I'm probably not going to preach 45 minutes, then preach my sermon, so you'll be able to get your 50-cent corn dogs here in a little bit. But if it's okay, I'm just going to preach like Jody. Sometimes I'm silly and sometimes I'm serious. Most times I'm silly, and tonight may be one of those nights, but I have a word for me. I'm going to read my scriptures first and just remain seated, and then I'm going to tell you what my title is, and we'll go from there. Brother Charles read from some of the same stuff Sunday night, and I almost didn't preach this. And I said, well, Brother Charles done read it just a few days ago, but I had some other notes, and I went back to them, and I tried to do a little research, and I kept on coming back to this same title. I said, well, okay, God, if if that's what you want me to do, then that's where I'm going to go. We're going to start with Acts, the 27th chapter, 41st and the 42nd verse. It says, and following into a place where two seas met, they ran the ship aground, and the forepart stuck fast and remained unmovable, but the hinder part was broken with the violence of the waves. And the soldiers' counsel was to kill the prisoners, lest any of them should swim out and escape. Now we're going to Acts, the 28th chapter. It said, when Paul had gathered a bundle of sticks and laid them on the fire, there came a viper out of the heat and fastened on his hand. And when the barbarians saw the venomous beast hang on his hand, they said amongst themselves, no doubt this man is a murderer, whom though he hath escaped the sea, yet vengeance suffereth not to live. And now we're going to Exodus. If nothing else, I'm going to be well-rounded tonight. We're going all the way around the world here. 2nd chapter, the 3rd verse says, and when she could not longer hide him, she took him for an ark of bulrushes, and daubed it with slime and with pitch, and put the child therein, and she laid it in the flags by the river's brink. And his sister stood afar off to wit what would be done to him. How many people knows, I got to do this, I can't hold this, I can't do that. How many knows anybody that no matter what you say, what you do, I'm not going to ask for names because there's one particular name just would jump out at me right off the bat, and so I'm not going to do that. Whatever, if you tell a tale, they always got a bigger tale to tell. If you've ever done anything, they've always done something bigger. Everything is a one-upment. They just going. I told you I'm going to be a little silly this week, so it's all right. I've known people that know people today that no matter what I can take, and I got a little bit of, I ain't going to say the devil, but I got a little devilment in me. Because what I want to do when I'm around somebody like that is start making up something else. Just make up something just outlandish. It makes me mad when they tell me something and they think I'm crazy enough to believe what they're saying. But so just make up something and see if they can top that. Do you know who the biggest one-upman ever was? I can't even talk. Jesus. And I'm going to use my words, how I kind of think this situation would play out. And the title of my sermon tonight is, But Did You Die? There was a Korean guy or something in one of the movies, and everything would go on. That's what he asked. But did you? They complained about his driving. But did you die? They complained whatever went on. But did you die? So that's my question tonight. I've had people say, "Well, you just don't know what I've been through." But did you die? Right. The devil has just been done. But there again. But did you die? So here's where we're going. This is Paul talking. This is after they crashed the ship, and man, he's just and I'm visioning this like when he's sitting up here on the streets of glory talking, and they got how men do get a crowd and just go telling tales, and they're sitting up there, and Jesus is sitting over to the side, and he's listening to them, and Paul says, "Man, we're in this storm for 2 weeks. And the wind has blown us back and forth. We had to throw stuff overboard. And I tell people, we can't leave the ship. We can't leave the ship. And the ship crashes, and we swim ashore. And I get up there, and I'm building a fire because we're wet and we're cold. And this big old viper comes out and latches on my hand, and I shake it off in the fire. And before he can finish his tale, Jesus just looks at me, but did you die?" He ain't done nothing Jesus hadn't been through. I look at things different. Y'all all know that. And I'm okay with that. Because if it was all the same, it'd be boring around here. So then I look at Moses. In the same scenario, I'm thinking he's probably sitting there around the campfire with all the guys. He said, guys, y'all just would, that ain't nothing. He was in a boat made to be out there. That ain't nothing. Let me tell you my story. He said, I was 3 months old, and my mama put me in a basket and put me in the deadliest river that there was. I mean, that's where they was going to throw the kids to, and you can thank Brother Ben for me knowing this, right? He loves to research, and I love to listen, so that's where they was going to throw the kids anyway. All the male babies, they're going to throw them in the Nile River because, guess what? There's some crocodiles in there. There's all kind of animals in the Nile River that just take care of it. Well, and that's what Moses said. You know what? That ain't nothing. You dealing with a snake and a shipwreck. I'm in a little wicker basket in a river full of crocodiles. I get rescued by Pharaoh's daughter. I get raised in starts like castle. I'm not a castle. What the heck? He was raised in wealth. Then I get to lead the children of Israel out of there, and then we march around in the woods for 40 years. And before he can go any further, Jesus said, but did you die? We can't, it just irritates me to no end when somebody tells me, you just don't know what I've been through.
Come on, bro.
I've seen, I was trying to remember how long I had actually been attempting to stand behind the pulpit and preach. But in the years that I've been doing this, I've seen people come and people go. And one of their excuses, because there's no reason, you just don't know what I've been through. I quit church myself for over 10 years. And when I finally realized it was me, that's a hard pill to swallow, Brother Joseph. When you sit down and realize I'm the one that messed up. But you know what? I didn't die. But my Savior that put up with me through all my junk and for whatever reason called me to do what I'm doing, as the old song goes, he looked beyond all my faults and he saw my needs. He saw, I'm like Brother Richie, he said today, if you'd have told me this every how many years ago that I'd be up trying to preach, I'd have laughed in your face. But thanks be to God, I didn't die.
Right.
You know, when I was out in the world, he could have took me out. We're not guaranteed. We're not guaranteed tomorrow. We're not guaranteed to walk out this door. I work with the funeral home, and I pick up people from months to years younger than me. I picked up a lady Sunday morning just a few years older than me. I picked them up 100 years old. God don't worry about our age. So he could have took me out, but yet he saw some reason, saw something in me because he blessed me. Just like he blessed Brother Charles. Just like he blessed Brother Richie. Just like he blessed Brother Ben. We're not all going to do things the same way. We're going to all accomplish the same goal. That's our responsibility to bring folks, draw folks closer to God. Because one day I will die. And I can't do anything. If you go to the cemetery, you see when they etch your name in the stone, they'll put the day you was born and the year you dead. There's a dash in the middle. I can't do anything about that birth date. I can't do anything about that death date. Because one day, unless the Lord comes back, that date will be etched in stone. But that spot in the middle, that little dash in the middle, that's what I can do.
Amen.
That's on me.
Amen.
And if God puts it on me to get behind the pulpit and preach it, that's what I've got to do.
Right.
And if something I can say, if it'll just touch one, just one person. We used to sing a song. I don't remember the title of the song or what the chorus said, but one of the lines in the song said, Noah preached for over 100 years and reached 8 people. I'm not going to preach for 100 years. If I can preach what little time I've got and I can reach one, then when I get up there to sit on the streets of gold in the circle with all the guys, I can have my tale to tell and wait for Jesus to tell the punchline. Because nothing I've gone through, Sister Debbie, I hadn't been beat with a cat of 9 tails. I hadn't had my whiskers plucked out. To me, that would hurt almost as much as a cat of 9 tails. I plucked one, just got one that don't look right, and grab it and snatch it out. Man, it hurts like crazy. I hadn't been stretched out and nailed to a cross. And then when he was stretched out and nailed to a cross, he said, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. So no matter what you're going through, no matter how tough it seems, no matter how hard it seems to put one foot in front of the other, ask yourself this question. But did you die?
Right.
Y'all pray for me.
Not one of us in here know what we're going to face tomorrow. But one thing we can be assured of, that God holds tomorrow.
That's right.
And if I put my faith and trust in Him, no matter what tomorrow may bring, whether He decides to carry us out of this walk of life, or whether He leaves us here to carry on another day, either way it's going to be all right because God's got our back.
Right.
You know, if He chooses what time we've got left. Brother Jody put it, that dash, let's make the best of it. Let's make the best of it. Praise God and serve God. And he's talking about reaching one. The old saying goes, if each one reaches one, we can conquer the world. So be about the Lord's business. Pray much one for another. Pray much for these young people. Pray much for revival. Seeing God move. I'm expecting great things from the Lord. We've already seen great things. But I'm expecting Him to do more. And I'm looking forward and excited about what God's doing in this time that we're living in. And church, I really believe we're going to see things like we've never seen before. And God's going to move in a mighty way. Praise God. Let's all stand.
Brother Charles, me and Laura went to stand in place for Heather.
Okay.
She said I could go to church to pray. She found out today she had cervical cancer